Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank you for supporting so many people in this city and this nation who needed recognition, appreciation, a chance to fulfill their potential. That's what you're doing with your support this evening. Now, I have the great pleasure of talking about a dear friend of mine. But first, I have to say, Emily, thank you so much for being a part of this evening. I have often noted that she manages to be, in turns, dramatic actress, comedic actress, and kick-ass action hero, which is pretty amazing. You've got range, girl. So, the work that we're talking about here obviously reaches children and adults alike. Helps address something that has been a stigma and never should have been a stigma. I have to note to you, this is sadly a big category in this country and many countries, things that we stigmatize that are natural. I don't know why that is a human reality. I don't know why our culture, our government, our faiths, many other things didn't weed out that reality long ago. But we struggle with it. We struggle with it when it comes to stuttering. We struggle with it when it comes to mental health. And I could go down a whole list of other areas that are part of human reality and no indication of human worth, and yet we're mired in assumptions and stereotypes, and people are belittled, and we have not progressed enough. But what you are doing this evening, what this organization does, is part of the answer. Providing speech therapy alone and making it affordable to people. And I will not be political in the least. I'll only note this is a week in our nation where the question of people's needs and whether they're going to be met and whether they're going to be affordable is front and center in Washington, D.C. This organization, to your great credit, believes that help is only real if people can actually receive it and reach it. That's part of what we're talking about tonight. Research and supporting the research that will change so many lives, and just challenging the stigma. That's what AIS does. Empowering people and not letting the stigma hold them back. And when people fully find their voice, their impact can be extraordinary. And that brings me to tonight's honoree, who I consider a real friend, because we have helped each other in thick and thin, and we both know what it's like to, in public life, go through good times and tougher times. Eric Dinallo has had, by any measure, an exemplary career, whether you look at his work in public service or in the law. It has been so wonderfully consistent, and a career marked by extraordinary integrity. And his integrity, in fact, led him into the heart of some of the biggest challenges we've seen over the last decade or so, when the financial crisis hit. And that epicenter of that crisis was right here in this city. He was the New York State Superintendent of Insurance. He was in the eye of the storm. He did some of the things that helped to restore stability and keep the situation from being so much worse. And he did it with a very keen mind, a very steady hand, and an evident sense to everyone of his only priority being the public good. He even played a key role in restructuring AIG, so if you want someone who can handle complexity, Eric Dinallo is your man. And throughout his career, he held people accountable, including some of the most powerful, whether it was as an assistant DA prosecuting insider trading, or as a guardian of investor protections at the New York State Attorney General's office. This is someone who's lived the right way in everything he's done. And part of living the right way is honesty, forthrightness, not allowing himself to feel ashamed of something, again, that is natural. And so he never hid the fact that he overcame stuttering. I remember when I first got to know Eric, stories came up very early and very easily. And he was comfortable talking about his challenge because he wanted people to hear. He wanted people to know that it's something that could be overcome. And he would campaign for Attorney General of this state in the year 2010. And like many candidates, he would go give speeches all over, including in churches, get up in front of congregations, and he would offer his own heartfelt line to relate to the church audience while talking about his own experience. And the quote he used, he said, "The same God who put this heart and this passion for public service in me also played a little trick on me. Like Moses, he made me a stutterer." That line consistently earned him a standing ovation from those church audiences. And at the same time, he helped them to think a little more and to feel a little more about the people in their life who had either overcome the challenge or were still experiencing it, to feel closer to them. And that wonderful openness, that comfort, that courage, that commitment has done so much good for so many. So I know you heard from him earlier, but I now have the honor of presenting him with an award that's just perfectly named for what Eric has done, the Freeing Voices, Changing Lives Award. Let's welcome Eric Dinallo.